Just waiting for the, we're live?
We're
Okay,
live.
thank you. Okay, welcome everybody. We're excited to have you here tonight for our regularly scheduled board meeting. And before we call the meeting to order, we're going to stand and we're going to have the pledge and a prayer. You'll join me? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing. Lord, we thank you for this time that we have together to recognize the good things that our students are doing on campus, and we thank you for our staff and for our students and for the blessing that December brings in the celebration of Christmas and in everybody's renewed spirit after a little vacation time. So we pray for safety as people travel over the holidays, and that you would just bless everybody with peace and joy in their homes. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
And we will officially call our meeting to order tonight. And the first thing we have are some Cobra Pride Awards. And Dr. Murphy, who's doing the senior high beta? Mr. Robertson. Okay. Tell us. We saw that picture.
Yes. Okay, so I'm Mandy Robertson. I'm beta sponsor for the high school with Ms. Heston. We had the opportunity to help the Make-A-Wish Foundation with a service project, and we helped them serve to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And I told the kids, we don't do service projects to get recognition or to get anything back, but it is very nice when someone wants to recognize them for their hard work that they're putting in. So I do want to introduce Melanie Peterson from Make-A-Wish. Hello.
And I was here last month for another
Okay.
organization,
Yeah.
so now it is Make-A-Wish. And I just want to say, because now I have my notes, because Fountain Lake has helped twice with Make-A-Wish. First time 2 years ago, or 1 year ago, September 9th, 2022, Coach Shelton helped make the wish happen for Cannon McMullen. I don't know if you remember that, but his wish reveal was during halftime of the football game last year, so that was exciting. So you have a vested interest, and now we have the beta students who have helped play a role. Make-A-Wish Mid-South, we have 453 kids on the grid right now, and our fundraiser that we had on November 10th that the students helped with is raised over $10,000 so that we can grant a wish for a local kid in the village next year at our wish event. So we're thrilled to be able to have them to do that. And I am hoping that the seniors in your class will help us out at other events too for the community service, because we recognize the fact that the students need projects. We need students to be able to do that, because the other thing about the students, they bring life and energy into everything that we do. And the compliments that I received from the event for the servers was outstanding. The food got to the tables, they did everything, and then I think you guys had a good time, didn't you? Yes, that's what it's all about. So thank you for helping us raise the money to grant a wish for a local child, and we hope to announce that name by our next wish event, which, by the way, if you want to put it on your calendars, if you're not a senior, it's November 8th, 2024.
Okay, so just to clarify, so y'all had a fundraising event for Make-A-Wish,
Yeah.
and our beta students came out and helped serve dinner to the participants of the fundraiser?
Yeah.
Nice.
And she didn't mention this, but she was also kind enough to donate to the Beta Club afterwards, and she paid for the students' convention registrations.
Nice, thank you.
We appreciated that
Thank you.
very
That's
much.
very much appreciated.
Okay, so we'll hand out the awards, guys. If you'll come up and get your award and then stay up here, we'll do a group picture.
And
Come down
yes,
this
we'll
way.
come
Okay.
like in front of the vision area of the TV. right there.
Okay, so I am giving them a Make-A-Wish participation certificate for their community service hours and our Cobra Pride Award. So Ethan Shaffick, Ella Millard, Bethany Brashears, Seth Boudreau, Lauren Cox, Sierra Brown, Celeste Ray Garibay, and Gracie Chapin. We had two others. Annabelle Kremarenko is sick, so she was not able to be here, and also Gracie Foster, because they helped as well.
Okay.
Want to be there?
Yeah. Go along.
I might have to come this way a little bit. You can want me to Are we all gonna fit?
Are we all? Get us all the students.
Hang on, about 3 feet that
Come
way.
this way.
Okay, so
Okay, y'all move
right
this
here,
way.
right here, right here, right here. Everybody from here over, turn sideways. Or you're facing that way. Turn your whole body,
There you
your
go.
whole body. And from here over, face that way, your whole body.
There you go.
And now face out this way with just your face. Okay? One step
And
in,
pretend like you like
one
each
step
other.
in, everybody one step in. Okay, now.
You might have to
Okay,
get
so-
up.
Okay, so
there yet?
Can you get it?
Yeah, hey Cindy, can you close your laptop?
Yep.
I was gonna say, can you close that laptop?
Oh, we got that. Be proud.
1:30, 1, 2, 3. Off. Very good.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Awesome.
Thank you, Melody.
Oh, you're welcome. I'll see you at the next.
Yeah, nice to see you again.
See you again.
Come back next time.
All right.
This business.
Miss Bowling's doing the,
Band.
the band.
Yes.
Okay,
Band here?
what, we got band students here?
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
All right.
Oh, you're okay.
All right, Miss Boland.
Oh, goodness, well, bring him. He can come too.
She's going to come.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
All
So band,
right.
y'all just come on up here along this wall,
Yeah,
right up along that
just come
wall.
all the way down here where we can spotlight y'all. Keep scooting. I don't know how many of y'all are
Miss
coming
Boland,
through. There we
here's
go.
one you go.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. I bet we're gonna hear about the state
Oh, we sure are.
marching
We sure
event.
are.
Yeah.
I actually took the time to write a nice little speech for these guys.
Oh, good.
This year has been an amazing year for our band program. They've overcome a bunch of obstacles, and Mr. Combs and I could not be more proud of the group of kids that we have. From Fountain Lake all across the state, our program has left a positive impact in the music world. We started the year with students attending Arkansas Tech band camps, and then working super hard during our summer rehearsals. The show for this year was called A Pirate's Adventure, and it was quite popular among the audience and the students. The band participated in 2 invitationals and 2 assessments this year. They got to perform at another yet successful Band Family Fun Night. They competed in the Beaver Dam Marching Contest and earned superior ratings in color guard, percussion, and band, also drum major. And they received a 3rd place overall at the Beaver Dam competition in Glen Rose. They also went to the Power Band Classic, which is an invitational in Lake Hamilton, and they were finalists, which is really, really big for a group our size, because we were competing with the likes of Lakeside, Lake Hamilton, Greenwood, and all the bigger bands in the state. They also went to the Region Marching Assessment in Lakeside and received a unanimous superior rating, which is the best a band could get at a marching assessment. And because of those ratings, they advanced to the state level of the marching assessment and got a 12th place overall
at the state marching assessment, and we are so proud of all of their hard work. Before you is just a fraction of the student leadership that our band depends on. We could not function without these guys, and they're amazing ladies and gentlemen. So we got their Cobra Pride Awards here. I would have loved to have the whole band here, but it'd be kind of crowded. It would be. So before you is one of our section leaders, and this is going to be Lexi Beltney, Lacey Curtis, both trumpet section leaders. And then we have, I made it in order. And then we have Rylan Kramerenko, one of our drumline leadership. Let's see, Tristan Reeves is our drum major this year. Troy Riggs, another drumline leadership. Nathan Westerman is also a drum leadership. And our 2 color guard captains who will be competing in the Arkansas Marching Arts Association Winter Guard this year. And that's for you. It's Macy Weiss and Warren Cox. Did I give you yours already? And then the rest of the band. We're going to take a picture outside, and that's all we have until contest.
Take it. Get one here. Take one inside.
You have to be in it too.
Oh, man. Okay.
Everybody squish in. Squish in.
Yeah, it's so good. Yes,
You have the right ones? Do y'all need to swap the names?
You're ready to write
Hold on, let's see whose name this is.
No.
Nathan, Bird, Troy. Are you Troy? Let's do this. Okay, Tristan. Everybody else have theirs? Okay. Yay, everybody got
Lexi,
one.
Troy, Lacey, Nolan, y'all face that way. And everybody else face this way.
So we're gonna
Face your body this way. Turn your body.
So we get it
Turn your
right.
body at a right angle to the wall, Western. Right angle to the wall, Western.
Towards us.
There you go. Now, and your face out. Just your face. Leave your body.
Look at Hayden.
Turn. Good. Now, can you see?
Can you see us all?
I'm good. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good.
All right.
Thanks for coming in.
Oh.
Thank you, they did so well.
Yes. Let's see if Maddie's passed out from screaming.
If not,
Let's see if Maddie's passed out from screaming.
Let's hope.
Get there.
Okay, we do have one more Cobra Pride Award that's not on the agenda, but Dr. Murphy's going to do that one.
Yeah, if I could have Mrs. Inman come up here, please. Of course, we had a special board meeting here recently, and the board accepted Mrs. Inman's resignation effective at the conclusion of December, but I just wanted to publicly acknowledge and thank her for coming to work at Fountain Lake, serving as a teacher, and then moving into an administrative role and serving with your heart, your passion, and your skill set. And, you know, I would say that this being my 36th year, I understand when someone kind of brings all those attributes together, and you definitely deserve this, and I thank you for your work ethic and serving our students and community.
Yay, my own Cobra Pride.
Yes. To remember us by.
Yes.
That's right. Okay, now we'll get into the meat of what's on the agenda. The first thing is the consent agenda, and the board has had a chance to look over everything on consent. If there are no questions, then it will be considered approved by unanimous consent. And we will move into the superintendent's update. And we were gonna start with Miss Curry. Didn't I see her just a minute ago?
She's right there.
Oh, she's hiding back there. So Miss Curry has an elementary report for us.
Yes, good afternoon or evening. We have our academic progress for our December I-Station tests listed there at the top. So our data is trending upward still. We're really proud of our students' growth. In fact, they're working hard on their monthly assessments to earn some time in the bounce house in January. So I think kindergarten's already earned that, so they're very excited and they ask us that every day. So we're really pleased with that. We'll take our other one for the state. The one that's submitted to the state will be in January. So our instructional focus, we're still working really hard on our literacy units. Our teams are collaborating together to plan and just making decisions on our instruction and assessments and how to move forward. So really proud of our teachers for working hard every week when they meet together. Our staff attendance rate is really good. Very much appreciate our staff being there daily, and our student attendance is not too bad. Still those grade levels trending lower are K and 1, which are typically historically the same for the whole nation. Bus referrals were down. We only had 6 this time. So that was pretty good. We have some special ed updates. We did have 35 meetings. The special ed students, they got to go bowling, so that was really cool. They had a really great time. We had a really awesome time at our kindergarten Thanksgiving feast too. Upcoming this week, tomorrow night, is our first grade musical at the auditorium at 6:30, and our second grade musical is Thursday night at the same time, so we're excited about that. Mr. Daz has a great show to put on for our parents. And then I'll have our Cobra Parent Partners meeting this Wednesday at 8:15 in the morning at the elementary school. We'll have coffee and we're going to discuss kind of our PBIS discipline system with any parent who wants to attend, and if they have questions, and just an hour to just kind of visit with our parents and hear some of their feedback.
Good. Y'all have any questions on that? That's good data. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ms. Curry. Are you doing the one for middle school, Ms. Inman? Okay. Yeah. I looked up and you weren't there, and I was like, wait, where did
Oh, no, I moved. So ours is kind of similar. So this is our monthly data. I don't have this on there, but I do want to share with you because we just got them back today. But we took the new state science interim test for the new Atlas interim, and we just got our results back today, and we were very excited because we beat the state average in all grade levels. And so that was something that I didn't put on here, but we were really excited about that. So
you should be.
Yes, very, very exciting.
Yeah.
And so we will take it again in the spring. There's some pros and cons to that. It's the exact same test, but we're still going to do it again just to give them more exposure to the new system. So what you're seeing here is data from our RTI. It may not seem like that big of a deal when you just look at it at first glance, but you can see that our kids in math and reading are both trending to grow at least 1.3 grade levels per year, which is exciting because some of them are only attending RTI 1 day a week. So if you think about the traction on that, it's pretty significant. As we go through there, they're still testing regularly. We will take our first quarter Mastery Connect assessments on Thursday and Friday of this week in our math and ELA classrooms, and so we'll release that data and do another dismissal of any of our students that are showing to be on grade level for RTI for the start of next semester.
I love that big green piece of the pie up there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 3 to 4 grade levels.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, because if you look at the second graph, the majority of students are only in session 0 to 14 minutes.
Yeah.
So they're obviously getting some very intensive.
So it is. Well, we don't do all of our RTI on the computer. The computer is just used to screen their progress.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a face-to-face intervention with the teacher and screen their progress through the computer.
Okay.
So that's why you won't see as much time necessarily on the computer because the intervention's happening with a person.
Oh, okay. That's just the computer time.
Yeah, that's just the time that they
Okay.
spend assessing.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
The assessment's done through the computer.
yes, it's a computer-based assessment.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one less thing for the teachers to have to grade.
Right.
Yeah, so we do have really good attendance rates as well with our staff and students. For the most part, it is the illness time of year, so we have seen some downward trends. When you have a smaller building, it doesn't take much to really kick your numbers. But all of our goals are still the same as they were, and we hope that they will continue to stay through there. We want to continue to focus on our math and literacy goal. But what we're noticing as we're adjusting to our new curriculum is that our literacy is really based in writing, which was not, we didn't know what we didn't know when we set our goals. And so you'll probably see some of that starting to change over because our students are spending a majority of their time writing, which we did not know was going to be part of our new curriculum. It's a good thing, but just not something we had really planned for.
Okay.
So our discipline referrals are down 49% from last year, so they're still going in the right direction. We have 23 minors and 39, or 23 minors and 39 majors. Minors means they were handled by the teacher in the classroom. And only 4 bus referrals, so I'm sure you remember last month we had a little bus issue with the Halloween candy, but don't worry, they got it under control.
All the sugar is out of their system.
Yes, but they were so bad last month on the bus, so I'm happy to report that's gotten back to normal. But we're still focusing on launching Canvas. That will be launching January 8th. We are ready to go. Our teachers are actually launching our new learning management system tomorrow. And so then it'll launch with parents at the beginning of the week. So, or the beginning of the school year. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, well, you won't be here, but I'm still going to help them see that through because it's important to me. So don't worry, it'll still go as planned. So Kim and I have been working with the software people all for the last 2 weeks, really heavily on that. So we have some exciting events coming up. We have our PBIS November reward party on December 21st, and then we'll have our awards assembly for the second 9 weeks on the 22nd. We have had both a band and choir concert 2 weekends in a row, and the kids have just done a phenomenal job. But then lots of sports going on. If you're bored, come to the basketball games. They prove to be fun. So that's all I have. That's it for me.
Any questions for Ms. Inman? Thank you, that's a good report.
You're welcome.
And Mr. Janeski with the high school.
As Ms. Inman commented, our kids completed the Atlas Science Interim. Just saw those results back today. Our kids too are above the state. I think we scored at 99. So it's out of 200 points. We still have some analysis to go back.
I was like, 99, that sounds awesome. How?
Well, we're still trying to figure out what a cut score is and what all this looks like because they gave us a number and nothing really to go with it yet. So
Okay.
we're still scratching our heads to find out what that exactly means. But we've got kids who are scoring from 161 down into probably into the mid 70s. So
Good.
still trying to figure out, are we going to get any relevant information that says, these are the standards we need to focus on? What is a cut score? What happens on the end of course as far as, we know it's not a pass-fail at this point in time, it's just, I guess, proficient or not.
Okay.
We did find out that, so if any kid is enrolled currently in a biology class, whether it's biology or AP biology or college biology, they're going to have to take this end of course test. So even though they're not in a biology class for high school and they're taking the college portion of it, they're still responsible for this test this year. Same thing will also apply to end of course algebra and geometry. So still some moving parts with that, but we're still trying to figure out exactly what goes on. Got our student attendance rates, and once again, we're like everybody else, we're surviving the November, the hunting season, and still the desire, got to come to school. So, staff attendance for us is a little bit lower, but I've had a couple of teachers that have been out with long-term illnesses, so that's why you'll notice a drop on our staff attendance rates.
Well, it's that time of year. Colds, flu, COVID,
Yeah,
whatever it
and
is.
some other, more major health issues, so we hopefully they'll resolve through those, and in January be back at 100% and ready to roll for the spring. We do have some upcoming dates that I put in there. And I just got one today from Mr. Riddle, so if you're interested in the kids are working on a production called Peter Pan's Christmas Goes Wrong, or Peter Pan Goes Christmas. We purchased a play and there's some rights issues with it, so a couple of the students, I think one in particular, has really worked on modifying so that they could get up and do a production, and it's going to be on December 18th and December 19th at 6 o'clock in the auditorium. So if you're interested, please come out. Real important date for all of you, if you'll notice all the way through here. So if you've got a senior, pay attention to the January 19th homecoming. After that, February 10th is ACT test, and I did put on those January 10th for a registration deadline, and January 19th is late fees. And then, of course, hopefully you've received a calendar invite for May the 10th, graduation at the OZK Arena.
Are you gonna plan on going this year, Cindy? You're gonna go this year?
I'm taking a look.
Think you'll be there? Okay, good. So, you said the theater presentation, the 18th
18th and the 19th.
in the evening?
In the evening, 6 o'clock is what time Mr. Riddle said he is prepared for, so.
Okay.
That's the homecoming?
No,
No, homecoming will be January 19th. That's the play production.
It's not on
No, that's what he was saying, it's not on
He's
there.
doing a dress rehearsal for middle school on the 18th during second and third period if you want to come during the day. Yeah. For the test dummies.
And I am watching very closely right now the graduation date. I do have a son that's, it's either going to be Saturday or that Friday night, so just want to be aware of that. Hopefully it's Saturday is where he graduates versus Friday evening.
Now, you just call in there and tell them you gotta come Saturday.
Excuse me, let's go first. Yeah, well, thank
Nobody
you.
realized it
Y'all have
was-
any questions for Mr. Janaski? Thank you, that
I
was.
noticed we only had one vaping incident for the month.
Yeah, November's a really short month though.
Well, evidently our vape detectors are helping.
They are, but you still have to be able to catch them.
I
That's
understand.
the whole catch.
I was trying to give accolades.
Maybe they're not doing it as much.
That's
Does
what
it
we're
help?
hoping.
Does it
Yes, that is it.
That's it.
You know, with one thing that is coming up soon, once we do get our newer cameras into the high school, whenever a vape is detected, it instantly takes a picture of who comes out that bathroom door next.
Oh.
So that will help out a lot versus scrubbing video.
Yeah, okay.
And as Mr. J said, this was a short month, but we have like 9 school days between now and the next board meeting. So would it be acceptable to have minimized building level reports?
Yes, we can skip those.
Because y'all
Yeah.
okay, we'll skip
We'll
the
skip them.
January board reports.
Right.
Because
There's
it's the
not
first
really-
day of school when y'all have your next
Yes,
meeting,
yes.
so, okay.
No,
thank
we're
you.
good with that, yeah.
I was,
We'll
wanted to
just-
make sure we
yep.
were good on that.
Yep.
Thanks.
Unless we have an outbreak of vape incidents.
They're real stressed out. With
All right.
semester
Mine
tests.
goes off on my email all night long.
Oh.
And it's the cleaning crew doing what they do.
They cleaning,
Well,
yeah,
they're
they're
doing-
cleaning. Yeah.
Okay, on that note, let's go to the financial review.
Really, the only highlight I would make is collections timeframe, month of November, $3.1 million in revenue was received in Fund 2. Other than that, when you look at where second report in that regard, the revenue versus expenditures, everything seems to be trending. Nothing really outstanding to speak to here at this point in the budget process.
Okay.
Should have a decent collection also that would be received coming into December, but it won't be as large as November, usually the largest one.
Hey, can you hit the plus on?
Alright. So, I see we have Josh here.
Hello.
You're coming to give us a quarterly report, I bet.
Yes.
All
And
right.
just so you know, we aren't vaping in the
I
bathroom. Our
was just
chemicals sometimes throw those
I
off.
was gonna skip right over that.
Take a picture.
Oh yeah, they'll know now. So the purpose of the quarterly business review is to make sure everybody's on the same page. We get a line of communication to you guys. It's kind of a gist of what it says there.
Scroll down.
And to evaluate any possible areas for improvement. So at your school, we have 19 buildings, we have 17 full-time equivalents, and roughly 2 acres managed for grounds. Oh, yeah.
You tell me,
Keep on going.
keep on going, okay.
So our management organization, you guys kind of know a few of them. Seth Farrelly, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, our CEO. We have Valen Emery, our division vice president. Tim Tyler, our regional vice president. Mike Walker, our director of operations. John Dufresne, our regional manager, and of course me. We have retained at least half of our staff from the original start, so I feel like that's pretty good numbers. Several of our staff members from the start have transitioned to different roles in the organization, such as leads and supervisor positions. One cool thing, SSC got this advanced certification in infectious disease response. I like to credit that to some of our higher end equipment that we use for disinfecting, stuff like that. A couple of our custodial projects, deep cleaning the bathrooms, that's just something we got to do over every break pretty much. Carpet cleaning is done by demand and almost weekly. On breaks, we deep clean all the student restrooms with our Kivacs and square scrubbers, scrubbing the floors when needed. Projects are always on demand and approved by admin beforehand, just in case there's something that they see that we need to work on instead. This was one of our most satisfying projects over the last summer. I don't know if you guys remember, but that cafeteria in there, the floor just had this yellow tint to it because of all the old wax buildup. So we went in, stripped it out completely, put in 20 coats of fresh wax on top of it, and it is shiny. It's very nice.
20 coats.
Yeah, it's very nice. Just a little grounds update. We don't really have a whole lot of time up there for a bunch of projects and everything, with being 4 hours a day. But that vacuum that we have, it lifts up 32 cubic foot of leaves and pine straw at a time. So on a good day, we'll get about 96 cubic feet of pine straw and leaves. It's a lot.
And it keeps coming down.
Yeah, on days like now, you'll go up there in the morning, and he'll have it nice and clean, and by noon, it's a disaster again. But I can only imagine what it would be like if we didn't
Right,
do that.
if you didn't.
Now, we can imagine.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys know. Some of our other projects that we've worked on, the CBI classroom, that's the picture on the left. You can kind of see where I did the carpet extraction up at the top of the picture. The rest of it just dingy and dirty. We got that all cleaned up, the Agri top scrub and recoat, bathroom cleaning, some more before and after pictures there. And that was all I really had for you guys. I didn't have a whole lot to update you on. It was kind of the same thing every time, but
No, those are good.
as always, we appreciate you guys having us. If there's anything that we can do for you, just let us know.
We appreciate you coming every quarter and giving us a little update. 'Cause,
Absolutely.
it's just nice for us to kind of keep up with how many
Yeah.
people you got and what's,
Right.
your projects. So,
Absolutely.
And Josh does provide Hayden and I a weekly update, kind of a narrative of what occurred in the week, anything we might need to be aware of, or anything that might be coming up for planning purposes to, there's always potential conflicts when you're having the number of activities that you hold on our campus in relationship to cleaning schedules, but I feel like communication is very strong.
Oh yeah, it's definitely an improvement from last year, for sure.
thank you. That was
Thank you, Josh.
Good report, Josh.
Thank you.
Our safety report, our security check, looked like really good. Elementary had 4 classrooms open.
Yeah, one thing I'll make a comment on that is, we're having some guidelines coming down from DESI going into 2024. One came through earlier, or towards the end of this past summer, about no longer allowing door stops on the exterior of all doors. So all of our exterior doors have been pulled. So now the next guideline is to be all classroom doors with door stops. The guideline is to have them all removed from classroom doors. So part of those 4 doors in elementary were because the door stop wasn't down. So removing those, we should see some lower numbers.
Does the majority of the doorways have closures or not?
For the classrooms or the
Some
exterior?
classroom, how many?
Have the
were you at on
automatic
closures?
closers.
Most of them do. High school does not. I don't know if middle school does. Majority of elementary does.
I was thinking of the elementaries where you were talking about
Right.
having these doors open. I think several of them do have a closure, or none of them, Mr. Campbell.
None of them do. Yeah.
You got
In elementary?
Quiet, right?
We're talking about the classroom doors.
Classroom doors.
Yeah.
Right.
Exterior
Like
doors
K1,
don't have
yeah.
closure.
Right.
So like on this, the classrooms that were found to be open, the doors must have been open because
Open.
if they're closed, they're locked.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So these were actually open doors, not unlocked doors.
Correct.
Because they all have,
They were
They
door
were-
stopper stopped open.
You get with the kick down.
Uh-huh.
So those kick downs we're gonna have to remove.
Sure.
So the one from the high school happened to be, the door was locked, it just didn't close, and the chief came by.
Pulled it open.
Pulled it open,
Yeah.
so.
Yep. But all in all,
Yeah.
we're doing a really good job there. So
And besides
it's not
that,
ever gonna be perfect.
no. At least that, our staff sees that they're randomized walkthrough if chief when he does go through, so it's not the same day. It's not the
Same
Friday before the board
time.
meeting or the day of, so
Right.
it's randomized.
Yeah.
Much better level of awareness by doing
Yes.
this exercise
Yes.
randomly and
Yes.
paying attention to it.
Yes.
That's all I had linked in. The only other update I'm gonna give you is on McHenry. We're at a very, very good spot. We actually had a conference call with McHenry, the dad, the brother, and the state department issuing the mining permit. Pretty much just gave us a green check except for a few things. We're required to get a stormwater permit. I'm working with Daniel George with not BNF now, Crafton Toll, that's who he's with now, and he actually just sent me over part of that paperwork tonight before the board meeting. So once that gets submitted, that's roughly about a 2-week process. So I hope to have the green light across the board, mining permit, in hand in the month of December. So it's.
What's the timeline on the building construction?
Building construction, we got solid numbers today from Hill and Cox.
Okay.
We plan to bring that the next board meeting, the
Okay.
official solid numbers for that project and the field house, and decide kind of which direction we want to go.
The timeline on completion, when we met with them after our last board meeting, was, once we got architectural approval, review back from the state, they realistically think that they cannot
Thank you.
have that building completed. It's at least a 6 to 7 month turnaround
Really?
to walk in. So,
Seems like a long time for 4 walls and a couple of bays. I don't know. I'm simplifying it, but
Yeah, once we get some confirmed architectural engineer drawings, we'll really be able to sit down with you. If it's a work session scenario or, a board meeting where we can, delete what we want just because of cost savings, so we'll have those 2 options available. But,
Okay.
the main one is a pretty in-depth, plan, mostly plumbing, adding a lot of restrooms, ADA stalls.
okay. Well, we'll sit down and look over that when you have the official, so. Okay, Mr. Campbell?
Yes, ma'am, I just had a couple of things I wanted to report on. Today, it's set up for Gary Troutman and Gary Jackson to come out from the chamber and the Metro Partnership, talk with kids. I think they talked with 8th, 10th, and 11th graders. Is that right, Jay?
Yeah.
8, 10, 11.
No, just 8th and
8th and
10th.
10th. 8th and 10th. They'll come back and talk to 11 and then talk to them as 12th graders. About basically jobs in the area and the potential for the ability to go to work here at home. And then they talked, we had them speak with the staff on one of our early dismissals. Same sort of thing. Gave a really good presentation, kind of opened our folks' eyes to some of the industry and jobs available in this area. So that was real good. We've tried to partner with them for quite some time to be involved with this workforce development. With that being said, the high school's been working the ACT work keys with the students, and we've signed up on the school's part to be a ACT work-ready site. And what that means is that we will look at someone who has the ACT work key certification in our hiring practices. And that would really be along the line of paraprofessionals, bus drivers, you know, tech folks, that sort of thing, where we would look at those work keys. So, and that just helps the chamber get one step closer to ACT work-ready community status. So we did agree to do that. I have noted on the agenda that our Getting Ahead program that we're operating with the Christian Charitable Clinic will have its graduation next Monday, 2 p.m. Be up in Safe Room D is where that class meets. They'll be graduating another 6 of our folks in their Bridges program. And so they've gone through 15, 16 weeks of classes up there for that. So I wanted to share that with you. And then we got an email today on the desegregation lawsuit. Our lawyers had filed the motion for relief from the settlement agreement. The plaintiffs filed an opposition response to that, and then because it's in federal court, we had to ask permission to file a response.
Correct.
And we've been given permission to file the reply. And so what that really means is that we're probably getting close to the point where the court will look at it and make a decision. So basically, the opposition stated that they didn't agree with the 444 pages of deposition that we submitted in about a 3-paragraph opposition. So that was their response. So we'll see what happens, but it is moving. It's just moving very slowly. You know, we're getting real near to 6 months from the point in time where we met with the initial group. So it is moving slowly. Yeah, I filed my deposition on it back in June. So it's 6 months.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I had to share this afternoon.
Okay. Is there any public comment? I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I think you're safe to say no.
All the public has gone home. Any board member comments?
What's our status on our, like, career fairs, career days? We haven't done anything yet, have we? I know they've had some people come up here.
We've got a date. What we've been doing at this point, Mr. Green, is there's been a large number of events held with industry in the media center during lunch hours.
I've seen those.
So we had that going on. We are anticipating doing another joint career fair. We also have the Lake Hamilton event that'll be coming up as well.
So our career fair is in
Draft
March,
day.
and then draft day I think is scheduled for April.
March and April will be 2 time frames.
Right.
But yeah, those 2 events will occur again this year. Is that what you're asking about?
Yeah, I mean, just what we're doing to throw stuff out there, what we're doing to throw stuff out there to the kids on different options.
And so last year with the draft day, they were literally asking us in November, how many kids are you gonna bring in April? So right now, they haven't done that, so hopefully they've opened that form up just a little bit more, so as we get closer to the date, we can give them a better number than just a guess in the air.
You're trying to, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
They're trying to cover like 7 counties with that draft day thing out of Lake Hamilton. Try and make it just as big as they possibly can. To provide as many, to make it appealing to as many
Trying to draw as many people as they
businesses.
can on the business side and student side to support workforce in Hot Springs.
And those guys that were here speaking to not only the kids but the staff, he even mentioned the draft day, and he said, if you're willing to come and work, we may interview you on the spot. So if the kids will go out with the mindset that they want something at that point in time, there's a good possibility that somebody
could get
can
hired
get hired for
that
a summer job, or, because they're looking for juniors transitioning into their senior year.
Then the other thing I would add is one thing I've kind of noticed with Mr. Green and the career coach, we've had a lot more localized opportunities where we really, I recall Jensen Tire, which is the base of the mountain up there at the West Gate, coming in and meeting with students about just employment opportunities in general, just putting kids to work, regardless of, a track record of advanced degrees, we're trying to highlight employment, part-time, full-time, and all of that is very reflective of the workforce demands and shortages.
Well, that was one of the speakers that was here with the chamber talked about having put on a 3rd shift, and he got out his Google map and figured out that it was 11 minutes with the bypass from here to his shop over on Malvern Avenue. And if a kid wanted to leave here at the end of the day and go, he could make it there in time to go to work on the 3rd shift in the factory. And he said he could take juniors and seniors. And it's clean industrial work.
Okay.
Do you have another question?
No, that's it.
I got one. Are you still looking into enclosing that we talked about outside of a meeting down there on the playground? Okay.
Yes.
Still looking at numbers?
Yeah, well, actually had quotes come in right before Thanksgiving break. Yeah, that's something we can proceed on soon.
Okay.
Fencing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that gate.
All right. So let's move into our new business. And Brian, you want to read our first motion?
Motion to approve the FLSD 2022-2023 school year audit from Craft Beach and Company.
All right. Welcome. And you'll have to remind me your name because I haven't seen you in a year.
I'm Lindsay Baker.
Lindsay.
And I'm with EGP, so we're actually doing the audit now. So we
Okay.
took over from John and his group. So this is our 2nd year doing the audit. And I was just going to touch on a few things just real quick. The first is our independent auditor's report on page 1. So we issue 2 opinions for school districts. School districts are a little bit different because they report under the regulatory basis. So we have to say we're issuing a modified opinion on a regulatory basis, which is a clean opinion, means everything looked okay. But we also have to disclose an adverse opinion under generally accepted accounting principles because it's a basis that's different, right, from what you guys are reporting on. So that is the report we issued. That's the standard report for school districts when they get clean audit. And that's the report we issued. So everything looked good. On page 2, you'll see down there the other matters. Because you expend more than $750,000 in federal money, we are required to do what we call a single audit. And so we report on a schedule of expenditures of federal awards. And so again, that's in relation to opinion. We think that schedule is fairly stated, and I'll show you what that schedule is here in just a moment. We think that it's fair in relation to the financial statements. The notes and the financial statements themselves didn't change too much. So if you'll flip over to page 16, That's where you'll see the schedule of expenditures of federal awards, and so almost $3.2 million expended in federal awards for the year ended June 30th, 2023. Our major program you'll see there, it's the elementary and secondary school emergency relief fund. There's two of those there, 84,425D and 84,425U. You see them down there towards the bottom. 1.5 million in the bigger one, and then just $54,000 in the second one. So those are the two programs where we spent the most of our time this year. If you flip over to page 18, this is a report we're required to issue under government auditing standards, just to say that, hey, we've considered internal control and we've considered compliance with, laws and regulations, and nothing came to our attention. It's kind of a negative assurance opinion that nothing came to our attention during our audit that we would need to report to you. The next report we issue, you'll flip over a couple of pages on page 20. This is the report under the uniform guidance. So this is the single audit I was talking about because you expend federal money. So we have to say that, okay, we've audited the major programs, and we believe that you are complying with the terms of those programs. So no issues noted in there. Again, both of those are clean opinions. The other report that we issue, and if you'll flip over about 3 pages, we have to report on compliance with Arkansas state requirements. Department of Education every year sends out a list of requirements that we have to consider in our audit, and so this is saying we consider all of these. Again, it's a clean report, so nothing that we identified that we think could be an issue for you. If you'll remember, we had one finding that we reported related to journal entries last year, so we have to say in the report what did the school district do about that, and so we just report that again. We say that it's cleared based on our review this time. We believe that problem has been remedied and no issues to report there. Okay. The other item you'll have is what we call our letter to governance, and I think it's maybe just loose in your packet. I think it may have been in the front of those. Yeah. So this is there are certain things we're required to communicate to the school board at the conclusion of the audit. I'm not going to go over this in detail, but suffice it to say that there were no difficulties that we encountered that we believe we need to communicate, or of course spend time discussing it. So all in all, it's a good audit, and we certainly appreciate the team. I think my team enjoyed being out here and working with you guys. So
now tell me again, how's the EGP? Are y'all? We said Kraft Beach and Company, but
so we purchased his audit practice.
Okay.
So we took over his audit practice. He's retirement age and was looking to start moving out of things, so we took over his audit practice.
Okay.
So we need to correct.
So we'll correct our motion.
Sorry about that.
So that it says EGP.
Yes. And I think John was actually still here last year. I think you came to.
He was.
He was.
Yeah, you were here, and you brought another young man that was one of the auditors. Yeah. So we always appreciate hearing that it was a clear audit. And that Tanya, who always is live streaming from her office in there, and probably just heard you. Oh, there you are! You snuck in the back.
Yeah, that's what's on.
I was like, Tanya is always good to work with y'all. So we appreciate what y'all do for us, because it gives us that sense of, okay, things are good. We can be comfortable on that. So. Yeah, do y'all have any questions for Lindsay? We appreciate you hanging around. You had to sit through the first hour to get to there.
That's okay.
But we do appreciate you being here, and that's a very good report. You explained it well. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I will reread the motion. We'll approve it, but the motion is to approve the FLSD 22-23 school year audit from EGP LLC. All in favor, say aye. Aye. None opposed. We have approved the school year audit. Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
We have a motion to approve option 1 or option 2 as bus mechanic salary schedule for the 23-24 school year.
Okay. Hayden, are you doing this discussion or?
I can, we can.
Sorry, I told him I was cold and he's
Oh, are you really? I was just gonna say I was.
I was getting a little warm.
Okay,
I was
You
getting
good?
warm.
So I'll leave it alone then.
Yeah, leave it. No, leave it. We'll get you a blanket. Somebody here has a blanket.
Poor Hayden, he's like, can I just read my stuff? Okay.
I'm sure Dr. Murphy and I both tag team this one, but no, as you know, we had a very good mechanic hired. We had Colby for a little over a month and a half, and he relocated his wife, and we've been trying to just interview since then. So a little over a month now, we've had probably 10 to 12 interviews, and it's tough. We're trying to hire someone at a minimum salary at $35,963. Of course, they're new, coming out of college, that fall in that range. We can match up to 8 per our district policy. So that moves them slightly in the schedule. 8 steps, I'm sorry. Yeah, 8 steps in that schedule, which puts them close to the $40,000 mark. But very tough. So we have 2 options. Tanya put together a nice list of all the comparing district salary schedules for a head mechanic and a technician. Of course, we'd be looking to hire a head mechanic. We're a mechanic of 1. So we have 2 recommendations. One for $40,000 starting pay, and the other one is for $42,500. And if you want to open up a discussion, we can. I feel like just comparing the base pay across the other school districts, and not just here to Arkansas, this job title in general, I think we could be able to pick someone up in this range.
Comment I would make is discussing this with Tanya, the steps down are not being touched in relationship to other relevant positions on the hourly side, percentage-wise. So, we felt like we needed to move that salary above the 40,000 mark. I wanted to present, the 40 and the 42.5. You could give consideration to moving that to 45,000 if we stay the course with this person. Our goal is to have this person at the shop, not driving a bus daily.
Correct.
So that if we have issues, he can go either retrieve buses, support a driver in the field or on route that may be having issues. In our prior situation, we utilized the schedule you're looking at is a maintenance mechanic position, but we allowed our mechanic to also drive a regular route to bring the pay rate up for that position.
Right.
So that is something we're trying to maybe try to do differently here, is minimize, definitely not going to offer a contracted route to this position. It would be emergency driving only is what we would be looking at, and so therefore that's going to be the compensation of that person based on how we design the
It
schedule.
looks like even the 40 makes us really competitive.
Right. Yeah.
Do you feel like, you said you've been doing interviews?
We've been doing interviews for roughly right out of a month as of today.
Are you getting rejected? Have you made offers?
Yeah, we've been getting rejected based off of pay. We had some really good ones, but they just would not come down for that much of a cut, even with benefits, 240 contract, holidays off.
So we got 1, right? So who helps them when they need help? Because I know, like for our business, our mechanic there's all the time bringing other mechanics over to help out. So who helps them?
Right now, just Josh and John when they're not down on campus doing the maintenance.
4 hands.
Right.
And currently who goes and gets the buses? Because I hauled kids home today when a bus went down.
Right.
My son's bus went down today, and I was shuffling kids home after school.
Mhm.
So who responds to that now?
Typically, if Joel was not on route, he'd be
Correct.
the first one to go.
Right.
A lot of times with the bus driver shortages that we have and the call-ins, he's on route.
But once we hire one, that mechanic will be here.
Correct.
He'll be here until all the buses get back.
Correct,
That's
yes.
what-
That's something that we started with Colby, yes, we changed that time frame. But yes, we would have someone, before the buses start first thing in the morning and and stay here until the last bus comes in. And that's
Well,
worked
way
out
you
very well
can do
for us.
that without paying an enormous amount of overtime in an hourly rate position is Joel may cover the front end and
Right.
the mechanic can cover the back end depending on weather. If you're in extreme weather or cold conditions, then both of them could come in early, or you may have pay overtime on a given day. But for the mechanic to open and close, you're looking at 12 to 14 hours a day.
Right. And a lot of these other schools too have
Is
multiple
that what we
mechanics.
do now? Like,
No.
or-
No, we don't pay a 12-hour day in relation to the mechanic role. So, I mean, typically you'll have some drivers kicking in there 6 bells, and most of them are back 5:30. Some of the
Yes,
later
yeah,
ones.
yeah, so pretty late, so.
And are our mechanics on call, like our maintenance,
No.
they're not like,
Now, Joel is a supervisor. For instance, we had a situation where we had that serpentine belt break up there in Little Rock, had a busload of kids up there.
like it was on
MacArthur couldn't get anybody in that circle. So he got a hold of me. I worked to get a hold to figure out what we would do, but most of the time, as the supervisor of transportation, Joel will step in and try to support whatever's needed specific, because usually what we're trying to do is get the kids home and then figure out whether we're going to need to, at that point in time, safely get to the bus to a location where it doesn't cause an accident, and then typically tow. One of the things we have not mentioned in the context of this, there's 2 ways to manage your program. One, you hire a certified diesel mechanic, which is more money, or you contract out a lot of that work and go with someone without requiring certification experience. A lot of our newer engines have a lot of those sensory codes on the exhaust side that literally the emission side of the engine will shut the engine down. We bought some gas vehicles. We are contemplating, to my knowledge, maybe looking at a diesel purchase in the future again. Just based on the balance of the fleet and the distance driving. But that's what I would share with you in regards to where we're trying to go moving forward. This is a situation in which we're looking at, I don't ever like to do it, but we are looking at only one schedule in this instance. And oftentimes when you look at one schedule and you make a decision as a board, you might hear from others.
well,
But right now, we don't have a mechanic.
yeah, that's where I'm at. So we're gonna consider this, it's a head mechanic. So just
Right.
looking at the schedule,
And that'd be a head mechanic of one.
You want to go
Right,
back,
right, I
Mr.
understand
Campbell,
that. So you got-
to area pay, please?
so just looking from the top, you got Hot Springs. I really don't, I'm stuck at 45. That's my magic number, just thinking in my head. Because you want to get
your
people-
low end.
Yeah,
Start
like-
at 45.
Yeah, because you want to get qualified people in here, and you want them to stay. We don't want somebody bouncing, as soon as they get 3 years' experience, somebody's going to suck them up.
Mhm.
Without touching the steps in the manner that we're touching the steps, if you look at the bottom end of that schedule, I don't know that it ever gets above 50, so getting to 45 at least gets you
To
at
15.
some point above 50.
Yeah, I mean, you're here for
Because right here, you're in this current schedule, if you don't touch it, or we don't provide incremental raises to the
I
base.
mean, you're
through
going to be here
time.
for 22 years. If you started at the 8, I mean, off this schedule, you're gonna be here 22 years before you ever get close to 50.
The reason I wanted you guys to have the discussion of moving to 45, you're basically moving it by
Well, you
$10,000.
can start them at, you
But
said
you also are,
you said we could start with 8.
We're gonna open,
If
we're gonna
they
open
have,
a,
if they have 8 years.
issue with
one
other
more
schedules,
experience.
or are we not?
Yeah, so,
And I know this
I mean,
is,
it may start it.
this is
Right.
a
I don't know that we're specifically gonna open up an issue with other schedules. We've talked to the maintenance staff, we've talked to both the guys that's in this schedule. You know, one of the things that the strategy the district has used due to the bus driver shortage is our maintenance personnel drives a bus. And so in driving a bus, they end up getting a blended overtime rate, which their overall compensation model far exceeds the bottom of that schedule.
But we're not gonna let this one
This,
down the bus.
this
unless-
person here is gonna be emergency on the bus only, so they're gonna be more reflective of this schedule and probably might exceed $50,000 annually based on the degree of emergency driving, but more than likely, if it's at the 42.5, there's pretty good likelihood they're gonna make less than 50. Unless they take on extra trips to drive some when they're doing
Right.
weekend stuff and those kind of activities. It wouldn't be excluded from some of those activities outside the route. We're just
Right.
trying to protect the existing route.
And that
So-
position will always,
10,000 new money.
If you went, because the current
Close to
schedule
it,
starts at
yeah.
35,963.
So a little less.
High
than
nines,
that.
right under 10.
Yeah.
So are you saying that based on their years of experience, you would bump them that many steps or up to 8?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what the policy is.
The
Correct.
policy
Yeah, what the
permits
policy
that
is.
based on similar to like experience. When we
Okay.
approve that, it allows us to transition people in, even though their experience may not have been with another school district. If they have like experience as a mechanic, assistant mechanic, we can honor that experience into our
Okay.
schedule.
Were you getting other school mechanics interested?
no,
Okay.
yeah, no other school
No.
mechanics.
I want to make this, you saw the schedule. So if the board takes action this evening, I've told Hayden the next thing we will do is reopen the position. And then evaluate all the people who have applied, make them aware of the new pay schedule. And then also make any, we'll just publicize it again because it's under a new rate of pay. And so really what it does is it resets the clock on the employment process. We visited with a few people, gives us a latitude to revisit with those people with the existing, this new schedule in place, but we will not bring you an immediate recommendation without first advertising the new rate of pay.
Okay, so board, y'all are asking us to approve either option 1 or option 2, correct?
Yes,
Corey's
unless,
option 3.
unless you want to go with the, yes, Corey's option.
I mean, y'all,
I would highly recommend that you at least move it to the 42.5 if you're gonna touch it. Just based on when you look at the other areas. Jessieville starts at roughly 40, just short of 40, but they have a higher back end to their pay. I think they exceed, see, they go to 51,340. Our schedule doesn't have
That much.
that much in it in terms of the steps that are concerned in it. That's why I kind of used that as an initial marker, and that's why I went to the 42.5. But I could understand the rationale for moving it a little further. You're just moving it almost $9,000 from current salary, but understand full well you're no longer tying it to a bus route and blended overtime rate, so it's, it's
That's
not
where
It's
I-
really
apples
not,
to apples
it's not
comparison.
that new money, actually.
Correct.
Right.
that's where I'm looking. You're gonna prevent this person, guy or girl, from running a route.
Daily driving will be an option.
Right.
Yeah, previously it was an
So
option.
they
Correct.
can add to their
They could
salary.
have made.
Yeah, we
an
were
extra-
paying more.
They could have made an extra $20,000 a year.
Right.
Yeah,
Off
Right.
driving the bus.
gotcha.
Right.
Correct.
So this for me, you're compensating for that, not holding them only to emergencies or
Right.
whatever.
So your option 3 was
Option 3, 45,
to step 1?
for step
For
one.
step 1, that's what he's talking about.
It's $2,500
Yeah,
More than what?
more. I mean,
And then the steps, Tanya, would just be reflective,
the
the same
rest of
manner you
yeah.
do
The
the other.
same type
Right.
increase.
Okay,
$225.
So- I'm good with. I mean, we're gonna call a vote, but are you good with calling a vote on option 3?
I propose an option 3 of starting rate of pay year 1, 45,000.
Okay.
Okay,
And follow the existing
With all the
steps.
existing steps.
and just because this is an addition that was not on there, does somebody second that?
Second.
Okay. Doing that just to make sure that we're all on board with that option. And so I will read the motion and we will vote on it. And so the revised motion will say, actually, just as a point of, do we need to vote down?
No,
Okay,
because we left the XXX.
Yeah, we left it open. We
Okay.
didn't have a specific.
Yeah.
okay, all right. So a motion to approve option 3 as bus mechanic salary schedule for the 23-24 school year, option 3 being a step 1 rate of pay of $45,000 with incremental steps in line with the other existing schedule.
And we have that schedule in existence already, so we'll link it into the minutes
Okay,
as option 3.
okay, perfect. All in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, that motion is approved 5-0. Okay, I know that was a lot of discussion, but I think that will help y'all
Yes, it will.
get a bus mechanic.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Motion to approve the purchase of inclusive playground equipment from Davis Playground in the amount of $69,285.68.
And Mr. Campbell, are you taking this one since it's federal funds?
Well, it's actually, if you look there, it's 6B, it's special education funding, but more specifically, it's that American Rescue Plan ESSER money that was specifically earmarked for special education populations. So Ms. Mushrush has a role in this, Hayden pushing the ESSER piece has a role in this.
Okay.
But basically what it amounts to is inclusive playground equipment, accessible poured rubber surface, and the installation. And the area will be big enough to hold 17 students at a time. And you can see there it'll be like, there'll be a roll-on where you could roll onto an old merry-go-round, kind of this is I don't remember what the term they use for the little blob-like thing. It's
Volta?
it's the inclusive orbit is what it is, where they kind of are able to, it's got some spaces where it rocks and they can roll up onto it. And then it has a swing bay, so it's actually like a swing set for wheelchairs and that sort of thing.
Will this be a restricted play area?
It will,
Okay.
and we've got that area on the map here in just a second, we'll show you. But
Okay.
then all of it will have a poured rubberized surface like the playing field out at the Miracle League.
Yep.
And it's got thicker areas for around the swing and around the
Okay.
Volta spinner thing,
Yeah.
so.
And because I'm directionally challenged when I'm looking at this map of the location,
That's what they used to park the
okay, is it by
dumpsters.
the teacher land? That,
Pretty close to it.
Not
So-
too far from it.
So
Okay.
right here is
Closer
the
towards
back
the kitchen.
door to the K2 building.
wait,
Right there is
Okay.
the
Back door to the
I was-
K2, there you
I
go.
was in that area.
And so this is the elementary CBI
Yes.
building. This is
Okay.
the elementary nurse. This is that awning with that big hump in
Oh,
it.
see, I can tell better.
And this is the specialty wing.
Yep,
And so the poured rubberized surface would be fenced in right there.
okay.
And the equipment would be in there, the CBI classrooms right here for
Oh, perfect.
accessibility.
Yep.
There's a special education classroom right down this hall,
Mhm.
and then all of our therapies are over here, and
Mhm.
they'd be able to avail themselves of it as well. So it's very centrally located for the population that it would really appeal to, but it is also inclusive. So it could be used by other students as well. They could have
It's what we call a
shared
hard play
playtime.
space. This is where the kids go to. Only question and discussion of everything I just heard. We were doing perimeter fencing. Are we actually, have you guys retooled? Are you gonna fence that red piece off? We were gonna perimeter fence the gated area, and that
Yeah.
was the plan, correct?
Yes,
It wouldn't
yes, that's
be,
the plan.
it wouldn't be a fence
Fence.
right around the
Right
very
around.
small part.
Not the red box. I was
No,
gonna ask that question
We're
too.
gonna have a.
That's what I was asking about earlier,
Putting
the
in
fence.
there and right there, then that way it can be used by regular ed children or special ed children either.
Okay, so it will not be restricted to special education only,
Right.
correct?
Yes,
Unless
unless there's a
There-
priority situation where we're trying to, most instances, the goal would be is for some level of interaction, correct?
Correct, and they play with the regular ed kids now. It's just, we have kids with mobility issues at a younger age now more than we have, and they can't really access pea gravel.
Correct, they can't get on pea gravel to go
Gotcha.
play.
Okay,
And
This
that's where
gives
all
them
the
a place
playground
to play.
equipment
okay,
is here on
great, I like it.
Yep.
the pea gravel. So, and it is money that's already set aside. It's not, local money. It's gonna be federal money, so.
Okay,
We just have to have board action, approved allocation, make all this roll, and then hopefully the project will materialize.
in the
this
spring?
We have submitted it for approval from the state, so.
Yes.
Okay.
that's a
Yeah, we've
piece
got
of it as
the
well.
prior approval.
Good.
Good.
All right, so we have a motion to, wait, any more questions? Sorry. I didn't think so, but thought I'd better check. Motion to approve the purchase of inclusive playground equipment from Davis Playground in the amount of $69,285.68. All in favor say aye. Aye. None opposed, that motion is approved 5-0.
These are kind of grouped, I'm gonna name them all. Dana, the
Okay, so you're gonna do the resignations
Yes.
in one?
Yes.
Okay,
Motion to accept the letters of resignation from the personnel below for the correlating positions. Chris Mungle is head coach for the boys and girls tennis program effective the end of 2023-2024 school year. Jana Tyler, high school teacher effective November 30th, 2023. Don Battle, elementary teacher effective December 6th, 2023. Charity Chapin as elementary teacher effective December 22nd, 2023.
okay, so our board members have had a chance to look at the resignation letters. If there are any questions or discussion items, we'll need to go to executive session. So if there are, let me know. Okay. So the motion is to accept the letters of resignation from the personnel below for the correlating positions. Chris Mungle as head coach for the boys and girls tennis program, effective at the end of this school year. Jana Tyler, high school teacher, effective November 30th. Dawn Battle, elementary teacher, effective December 6th. And Charity Chapin as elementary teacher, effective December 22nd. All in favor say aye. Aye. None opposed. That motion is approved 5-0.
Motion to hire the following for the correlating positions effective January 3rd, 2023. I don't want to butcher these. Tisa
Tisa.
Bomar,
Tisa Bomer.
Bomer, Patricia Grizzard, Dan Brashears, interim middle school principal, John Spears, special education paraprofessional.
Okay, and if we have any questions, we will need to go to executive session to have those answered. And I actually do have a question on one of them, so if we can adjourn for just maybe 5 minutes to get the question answered, we will be right back.
All right.
Okay, so, we,
Reread those motions.
yes, I will. We, are back in session, and we have a motion to hire the following for the correlating positions effective January 3rd, 2023. Tisa Bomer, elementary teacher. Patricia Grizzard, elementary teacher. Dan Brashears, interim middle school principal. John Spear, special education paraprofessional. All in favor, say aye.
We're gonna vote
Individually.
individually.
Well, it was read as one motion,
Okay, one motion, okay, thank you,
so we can't separate it at that point.
okay.
So, the motion as it's been read, all in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye. All,
No, that's, we're gonna have to revise that.
So then you would.
We need a parliamentary procedure help.
So, the initial motion was actually made by you, who,
Well, I read it.
Was to hire all four.
But
so
it's all
the
is
motion
together.
didn't pass.
okay, so
So now
we'll
you
just
can go
vote it
back
down.
and motion
That motion will
that
be voted down to vote
yes.
all four in one,
So it
and we'll
was
separate it out.
Two yays and.
Three
nays.
against.
So then you will.
So now we're gonna break it down into individuals.
Okay.
Okay, so the first motion with all four did not pass by a vote of 2-3.
Right.
So now we are going to have a motion to hire the following for the correlating positions effective January 3rd, and it should say 2024, not 23. But none of us caught that on the first read.
Good job.
Yeah, January 3rd, 23. Tisa Bomer, elementary teacher. All in favor say aye. Aye. That one is unanimously approved. Patricia Grizzard, elementary teacher. All in favor say aye. Aye. That one is unanimously approved. Dan Brashears, interim middle school principal. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, that motion is defeated by a vote of 2-3. And John Spears, special education paraprofessional, all in favor say aye. Aye. That one is unanimously approved. And that being the last of our motions, if anybody has any further comment, otherwise, the board, we're not adjourning the meeting because the board is going into executive session to discuss superintendent candidates. There will be no voting, there will be no discussion when we come out of executive session for all intents. So, for all intents and purposes, the meeting is over. And we thank you all for being here tonight, and we will adjourn when we finish executive session. In here.